remember reading about this.
This was what she looked like as a student.
Oh.
But her biggest defender was Einstein. It is an enormous honor for me to open the Curie exhibit here in the rotunda of the Russell Building. This is the 100th anniversary of Madame Curie winning her Nobel Prize on her own. I want to welcome the Deputy Chief of Mission from the Polish Embassy, Mr. Pozarski, Dr. Bradley Miller, representing the American Chemical Society, to all of you, and I hope all those who come in to our capital who will learn more about this extraordinary and very special woman. In 1911, Madame Sklodowska-Curie stepped on the world stage for the second time to win a Nobel Prize in her own name and in her own right. In 1903, she stepped on the world stage, a small, petite woman with her beloved husband, Pierre, and at age 36, won a Nobel Prize in physics for their discovery of radium. Using Pierre and Marie were leading scientists of the time, but they also knew it was a new century, and it was going to be a century of chemistry, of physics, of discovery. And they wanted to not only make new discoveries, but to use their discoveries for peace and for saving lives. It was their profound belief that if you were a scientist and you made discovery, your discovery should belong to the common heritage of mankind. And they wanted to share their discoveries with the world. They also believed that if you discovered something that was going to help the world, you should benefit the world, but you shouldn't profit from it. So they were amazing scientists. They were amazing idealists. And they took the money from their first prize and reinvested it in their own laboratory, the famous Radium Institute. It was profound. They were busy working together, working on new projects, but their lives together were not meant to be. One sad day when Pierre stepped off of a curb and was hit by a tragic horse and carriage accident, passed away. It left Marie Sklodowska-Curie, a bereaved widow, a talented scientist, and someone has written about her and called her the magnificent obsessive genius. While raising her family, as a widow, she continued her own scientific discovery. And then she discovered a new element, a new chemical element, and she named it polonium after her beloved homeland. Well, and for that, in 1911, she won the Nobel Prize in her own right for chemistry. The world has long recognized Marie Sklodowska-Curie, and it's time that we use what we know about her to re-inspire generations, because not only of what the science that she did, but all of the other things that she did in her life. I'm a big fan of Madame Curie. When I was a little girl growing up in Baltimore during World War II, my parents took me to see a famous movie about her. They wanted me to know the story of Poland. They wanted me to know the story of this brilliant woman. And at age 8, when I saw this Greer Garson play Madame Curie, I wanted to be just like her. When I came home, I begged my mother and father to buy me a chemistry set. I wanted to go on. I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to win a Nobel Prize. I wasn't sure how to spell it, but I sure wanted to win it. And the story mesmerized me, and I worked in science. I had hoped, as a young high school girl and a beginning college student, to myself have a career in science, but it was not meant to be. I am very good at understanding science, but I'm not very good at doing science. So I shifted my career to social science, to social work, and to politics. But I now use my talents to fund those that do. When I think about what science has meant, when I think about Madame Curie, I think about all the possibilities and potential for women, for those who have a passion for science, and for those who pursue the passion of intellectual discovery. Madame Curie grew up in an occupied Poland. Poland was partitioned into 3 parts. Warsaw, where she lived with her parents, was occupied by the Russians. But she, in an enlightened family of its time, was able to study and then come to Paris to do her work. It was there that she met Pierre, and as they say, you know the rest of history. But the other part that they don't know are Madame Curie's patriotism and her passion for peace. While she was busy doing science, she also wanted to save lives. During World War I, when there was the terrible and horrific war, she wanted to help those on the battlefield. She, with her daughter Irene, conceived of the idea of taking very rough, even primitive equipment that could be used for battlefield x-rays and took it out. She got the fashionable women of Paris to donate the money to buy the equipment and to buy the taxi cabs. She trained young women to go to the battlefield, and out they went in the outskirts of France and Paris. The French government credits her with saving thousands of Allied lives because during surgery, they never knew why to find the bullet. Where the bullet enters isn't necessarily where the bullet goes. Thanks to Curie and her wonderful team of young women, led by her own daughter, they were able to find out how to do this. She was the mother of MASH medicine, and we salute her for that. And the French government recognized her for it. Again, after the war, she hoped that it was the war to end all wars. She became a scientific advisor to the League of Nations. She joined hands with Albert Einstein, Max Planck, and others who wanted scientific discovery to always be in the hands of those who pursued freedom. And she wanted her atoms to go for peace. If she were alive today, she would love the MRIs. She would love the sonograms. She would love knowing that we had an Office of Women's Health at NIH. She really would love it. And if I know Madame Curie, she would wonder, how could I get in on it? And how can my great-granddaughter do it? And who's this woman, Mikulski? I won the first Nobel Prize. She gets herself elected to the Senate. Let's hear it for Polish women who just don't take no for an answer. So today, I am so pleased, and she'd be pleased in what I'm doing today. When I open this exhibit, I will be going to the Senate floor because the Appropriations Committee has my bill. My bill will fund scientific research in astronomy, chemistry, physics, the National Space Agency, the National Science Foundation, the National Oceans and Atmospheric Agency. She would love it all. And today we love Marie Sklodowska-Curie, and we love to open this exhibit.